Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm your host, Leah Maston, for Top Industry Professionals Tip International Radio Podcast, where we are showcasing prestigious top professionals from all industries all over the globe to share their experience and stories of success. My amazing co-host is here with me, and we are so honored to have her as a host of the show. Originally from Namibia, she was crowned Miss Universe in 1992. Please welcome Michelle Mclean.
Thanks, Leah. It's so good to be back with you again and starting off this amazing year. It's going to be fantastic. And we have just got such a special guest with us today. She's all the way from Austria. She is a recognized global health expert who has worked for several leading organizations, including the World Health Organization, the European Commission, the CDC, has worked in many countries all over the world. She is also an international award-winning medical doctor, public health expert, and a psychosocial expert. She has made a huge impact in her role during the pandemic as CEO and international consultant at Peacebuilding and Partners SAL. Everyone, please welcome Dr. Erika Wichro. Hi, doctor. It's so nice to have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hi, Leah. Hi, Michelle. I'm so honored to be with you today.
We are so honored to have you. Erika, you have had such an amazing journey and you have quite a story from growing up in a small village in a rural area of Styria to now being a lead influencer who is celebrated for technical advice, advocacy, assessment, leadership, and helping to prepare during crisis and pandemics. Tell everyone how you got to this point, and was this always something that you wanted to do?
That's an awesome question. Thank you so very much, Leah. I think I started, growing up in rural Syria, as you said rightly. I was very much exposed to nature, and I really appreciate that time because I think it shaped my urge and longing for having the balance and understanding nature, because nature teaches us so many things in so many ways if we are actually watching and listening, right? So I started out looking at correcting or helping to correct anything which is disbalanced. When I was little, like all the sick animals were drawn to me and I was drawn to them and I brought them home. So my family at some point said, okay, it's enough now. And I think throughout my journey, kids are very curious. They really ask a lot of questions, and I was the same, probably even more so asking. And through this exploring path, I actually really went then into health, medicine, and went beyond. And I think that really was drawing me to help people at a large scale to really strengthening themselves, to increase their resilience and to empower them, because there's nothing worse than being hopeless, So I think that kind of shaped my path a little bit.
Well, gosh, you've had such an amazing journey, Erika, and I can't even imagine what you must have gone through during the pandemic that we're still experiencing. So how do you see this journey going forward, being an expert in this?
That's a great question. Thank you so much. I think COVID-19, first of all, everybody was surprised because none of us has seen something like this before. I have gone through many health emergencies in the past 17 years and, have seen a lot even in my 30 years of health career. When I was at the ICU, we were always prone to have very quick decision-making because it's about life and death when it comes to patients. And I remember one time a patient asking me whether I'm actually liking what I'm doing. And this patient died because he had a heart attack. Now, what has that got to do with COVID? What that's got to do with COVID is we never know when is our last minute, when is our last day. So everybody has the power to really do something about their own health status. What I learned in COVID is it's really pinpointing our systems globally, what's working and what's not working. And we do see now that it's so critical to have good communication. It is so critical to have real-time data. You can actually make proper decision-making at the very top level, but also for oneself. If I know I'm nourishing myself with proper food, I'm nourishing myself with something which is, lifting my mood up, I will be more I will be stronger. I will have more resilience than if the first thing you do in the morning is reading bad news, right? So it's really about how do I set myself up as an individual, but also how is a country set up? How is a community set up? What are the strengths? And I think we have so much more strengths when we are currently looking at, because there's a lot of negativity out there. But if we look into the opportunities COVID-19 has brought, like, us talking online, for instance, or so many meetings being now held online, not polluting the air, or taking good care of water, appreciating what we have in terms of having clean water, clean air. It's a necessity. And still we take some things for granted. And so is it for health. We take it for granted until it's gone.
Sorry, I so have to agree with that. Coming from the African continent and knowing the great needs, when you go to the Western world, and now I'm living in Miami, I see such, not ungratefulness, but just really not appreciation for the basics that we see every day that are great needs in Africa. So that is wonderful, all the work that you're doing out there.
Thank you so much. I really would like to add on here. I think what I learned the most, and this is why I'm so grateful for all the experience I had working in different countries. When you go to the slum, I once was in Cairo, and I was requested to have a quick look into the slum and how things can be moved forward. I always ask for permission, number one. The second thing is I listen to what people have to say. And this old lady who was supposed to be the elderly of this slum, she offered, having nothing, she offered me a cookie and a chai, which is a hot tea. And I was embarrassed because she had nothing, and still she offered. And I said, well, how can I not turn her down and offend her, but at the same time pay her, give her something back in return? And the lady was saying, you are my guest. So it really shows a different attitude. It shows when you go somewhere, whatever you do, you are we are all interconnected. What I do to myself, I do actually to you ladies. What you do to yourself, you do to me. So the notion of being separate is an illusion. We are all together on one planet, and the planet Earth is our base of living. It can be without us, but we can't be without the planet Earth, right? So I think having this mindset and really being grateful for whatever you have in the moment, being able to see, smell, live, breathe, and all these kind of things is so important.
That is absolutely beautiful. I couldn't agree more. Erika, you've always been an active volunteer for disaster and humanitarian relief. Tell us about your philanthropy work and why it's so important for you to pay it forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Leah, for this question. I believe in receiving and giving. You breathe in, you breathe out. You cannot only breathe in, because there's got to be a breathing out. And the same way I see in the philanthropy work, whatever you pay forward, it's like investing in our future. Who is our future? It's children, right? What is my future? If I invest in my optimization, in my skill, my personal development. So to me, this philanthropy work is so critical, because I believe, first of all, it's always coming back in one way or the other. And if I give out something without expectation, I know there will be an impact. If you plant a seed for a tree today, it won't grow tomorrow. It does take time. But when it grows and when it comes up, it actually provides beautiful oxygen, which we need to live and to breathe. So it's a giving and a taking. And in that kind of a way, I see, again, the balance I was looking for when I was a small little kid, contributing to the balance, giving something, learning and taking, and at the same time also giving back by sharing, mentoring, training people, helping others. And in that way, I think joint efforts are actually being well placed.
Well, I'm just totally blown away by your consciousness for the planet. There's so many people who talk, but don't walk the talk. And I just feel that, just inspired in your presence, because I guess there's so much that you do in your everyday life, but what you're saying as well is that it's every single action we take and every word that we say really impacts other people. And we've got to be very conscious of that. And so, I mean, I've got like goosebumps. I'm just really inspired by the work that you're doing. Now we know that throughout your illustrious career, you've won numerous awards, honors, and been featured in magazines. You were just recently honored at the IAOTP's annual awards gala dinner at the Plaza Hotel, where we saw you for your selection as top public health expert of the year and for the Empowered Woman Award. You appeared on the famous Reuters billboard in Times Square and graced the front cover of Tip magazine. So my goodness, I mean, you have been really celebrated in so many ways and very well deserved. What would you say, though, is the highlight of your career, your memorable experience that stands out for you to date?
Wow, that's an awesome question, Michelle. I think I would, from the top of my head, I would pick three things, if I may. Number one, really being, part of the family of the IAOTP family is something very, very, very honoring. I was, I cannot express my gratitude really standing on the podium in December with Stephanie and the whole family and all of you ladies, everybody doing such great work. So that was, and I think it's visible in the picture, I'm like almost bursting out in tears. So that was one really big thing for me. And even more so recognizing that this is the opportunity to do even more. The second thing is I've had various graduation ceremonies from my academic background. And I think what blew me away was the one at Boston University in the stadium, when you are in the stadium on the podium and you get your degree and you do the whole procedure. I think that was also like, wow, and the stadium was full of people because there were, like everybody from Boston University at that time graduating. So that was awesome. And I think the third one is what really inspires and enlightens me. And that's the biggest one is when I see people's sparkles eyes, when they get the sparkle back because they see that they have the power, they are empowered again, they see that there is opportunities, that they can do something for themselves, they have maybe they haven't been thinking about, but when they get empowered again and they increase their resilience and their strengths and they really say, all right, let's just do it jointly, let's put our energies together and do something positive, make some positive impact. That's actually the biggest reward for me, because then I know whatever I have been doing, whatever we did together, it has actually really bared fruits and it's going to continue and last for long term. And this is what I'm looking for.
Those are great examples. So you're extremely busy. Do you even have any time for hobbies? What do you like to do for fun? And then what else would you like to accomplish in the future?
Oh, yes, I'm busy, but I learned also.
It's about the balance, right?
Exactly. I think this is what I learned from my great mentors. First of all, I have great mentors. Robin Sharma is one of them. Really just listening how they spend their time and that they do less but focus more is something I really got out throughout my path. And also, of course, doing a lot of personal development in various forms. I love to travel. I love nature. I think everybody who knows me by now knows there's a lot of pictures from the sky, from flying, from trees. So for me, this is really my nourishment. I love to read books. I love deep conversations. I love to meet new people. And I think it's really about the energy. If you radiate the beauty of having great energy. And I know it's varying from day to day, but I think there's techniques one can actually lift oneself up when you're feeling down, and that's okay as well. For the future, I would like to actually really, I'm going for the planetary health now. There is this inspiring concept which has been put forward by the Sunway Center of Planetary Health, which is based in Malaysia. And I really deeply, deeply feel connected with their concept, their values, really taking care of the planet. Because once we go beyond individual thinking, like you mentioned, the consciousness, we actually really see the impact of our actions and also of our inactions. And that leads me back to the conflicts which are going on right now. It's not just one conflict, there's plenty of them. And I believe this is where we have now the opportunity to really, tackle the root causes of conflicts. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, as Albert Einstein was saying, is actually insane. And I think this is now the time to really shut down insanity and do something productive, which is actually really helping everybody to get peace, because health can only be wealth if there is peace and security for people to really strive. And I think this is what I'm aiming for. So I'm going kind of at the metaverse and really looking from the planetary health perspective in the future and from now on.
But in saying that, Erika, who would you rally together to facilitate and support you in this process? What is the plan? I'd love to know.
That's an excellent question. I think I came across this concept just recently, and I'm thinking of really rallying not only with academics, but really with those who are, implementers. And looking at COVID, who are the implementers? It's basically the frontline workers, right? It's the health professionals, but it's every single individual. So I think the rally really goes in various layers. How do you reach different communities? How do you reach different, I would say, countries? How do you reach different people? And at the end of the day, it's the mass. So the more conscious we are as individuals, but also as a collective, the more likely we're going to be moving things forward. Just see, when you look at the reactions on the recent Ukraine-Russia conflict, what kind of reaction is out there, right? So people become more conscious. How long will it last? That's the question. Because for Syria, I was involved also with, some work in Syria. That conflict is still going on. And I think barely somebody is talking about it nowadays, right? Or Iraq or any other of those conflicts which are still there. So I believe it is not just, it's easier to get something going, but probably the challenge is, how do you keep momentum? It's the same with when you set yourself a New Year goal, right? I set myself several New Year goals. And before I set myself several New Year goals, I actually closed the ones which I haven't done from the previous year. Because otherwise it's frustrating, Yeah. So excellent question. I think time will tell, and the right people will show up and the right communities will come together. And if once we see that whatever we are doing, it's the small little things, like how do we consume? If I consume plastic, microplastic is an issue. It's all over. It's already in our food system. So it eventually will go into my body. Now, does a car drive with the wrong fuel? No, it won't. Does the body drive with the wrong fuel? No, it won't. So, there are so many similarities which can be drawn from. And that's what I'm saying. For me, nature is such a beautiful example on a daily basis. If we just watch closely, what should be? What does it do? It does, collect honey, but at the same time, it's pollinating. If it wouldn't pollinate, we wouldn't have any kind of flowering, no blossoms. So there is a ripple effect in whatever we are doing. And if we are more conscious of what we are doing, I believe this planet is becoming a much more beautiful place when we actually, when we came here. I want to leave it at a much better place when I got here.
I wish there were more people like you in the world.
There are. I think there is great people, you know, like the Sunway Global Center, the Center for Planetary Health is really a very good start. And there are people who are really aware of that things cannot carry on the way they are right now. And this is a wake-up call. I think COVID has shown it very well. The conflict doing it very well. It's not about fragmentation anymore. It is really about getting together and joining our brilliance, you know, celebrating the diversity, because it is the diversity which brings the abundance, the richness in solution finding for our upcoming challenges. So too much talk.
Not at all. I'm trying to absorb all the information, and just, you know, you're so inspiring, and I really wish you so much light and love in your journey to attract the right people. And as you say, there are the right people in the world. We just need to collaborate together and make it a priority, as you say, for our planet.
Exactly. You know what I learned is, and this really makes me smile, during my school time, when you worked together, it was cheating, right? Everybody was saying you're cheating. But nowadays, we really need to work together. And I wish that our education system is actually really encouraging the collaboration rather than the division. Because at the end of the day, life is actually about working together, finding solutions together, and striving. And how can you strive, and how can you actually live a happy and fulfilled life? You listen to yourself. What did you always wanted to do as a little kid? I always wanted to, you know, help a lot of people being in balance, being healthy, having great strength. And I believe by helping them to prepare for crisis, because things will change. You know, we see the climate change. We see so many other things coming along. There is a possibility.
Leah, you got something to say?
I'm the same as you. I'm absorbing everything. It's amazing.
Yeah,
you're absolutely so inspiring. I could listen to you talk all day. Like, don't stop.
Yeah, I think my advice for every single person, and that's what I'm telling myself every single day, is first of all, I'm so grateful for every single day, because it's a new chance. Every single day there is a possibility of waking up in the morning and making a big difference, whether big or small, it doesn't matter. But just getting up and, you know, smiling at somebody you haven't been smiling might really mean so much for that person, because that needed a smile. That needed a hug, a kind word. It's those small actions of kindness and really nourishing oneself, because if I take good care of myself, it also reflects in the way I deal with whatever is in my environment, and minimizing any kind of toxicity or negativity, because it's going to drag down. So I think that, you know, it's small things, but if you do them consistently over time, they make a big difference.
That's so profound. I always, you know, you were talking about gratitude and whatever, and I've always said to myself, you can't be happy and ungrateful at the same time. So, you know, it's just impossible. So if you're grateful, you're always going to make the right choices in terms of, you know, what makes you happy and what's important, the priorities in your life. So, but thank you for your inspiring messages today. I'm blown away. And as Leah says, I'm going to still have to take a bit of time just to absorb all this powerful information.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Erika. It's just been such a pleasure chatting with you and learning from you. And I'm sure our listeners are just so much going to enjoy this interview.
So please let us know, how can all the listeners get in touch with you if they'd like to, you know, make contact?
Sure. So there's two possibilities. One is through LinkedIn. My name is visible on the LinkedIn profile, so they can actually drop me an email. Or there is also the website, which is https // peacebuildingpartners.com. That's another possibility to touch base. And I really appreciate, people just dropping me a message, or if there's anything I can help with, I'm happy to listen to concerns and see how I can help or refer if somebody else will be better suited for whatever is needed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Erika. It's been amazing chatting to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Erika.
We'll see you soon at the next gala.
Yeah.
Hopefully before.
Hopefully before, but certainly at the next gala.
Absolutely.
Peace and light. Lots of love.
Have a good day.
Lots of love. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.